Good morning, dear students. We have already finished the first unit. Instead of beginning with the second unit, we'll begin with the third unit. And the first chapter there is human health and diseases. Now, what does the term health mean? Health means keeping well. If we talk of earlier days, long ago when there was no medical aid, there were no equipments available, still there were health advisors, there were people who were looking after other people's health, taking care of them. I hope all of you have heard about Hippocrates. He had given a theory of for humor, HUMOR, and that's the reason blood is many a time referred to as humor. It is the fluid which flows in the body. What those days people used to do, see, nowadays we have lots of techniques and technology to study what is present in the blood, what is not present, and we have parameters to compare how these things vary from person to person. Based on the study, we put results that such and such person is having a bacterial disease, or such and such person is having a lot of sugar in the blood. And there are different types of tests, pathological tests, which confer that okay, this particular element is missing in the blood or it is too much present in the blood. Based on that, doctors give you medicine. So what does the doctor do? They observe the blood tests report, based on which they prescribe medicine. Do they just give you medicines? No, they do not. They first observe the symptoms of a person. If he or she is unhealthy or not feeling well, then ask the person to perform a blood test. Based on the reports of the blood test, the doctors prescribe medicines. Now, earlier days, pathological tests were not performed, but then there was a test. They used to take out blood from the body and keep them in transparent test tubes, say for 1 day or 2 days, and what would happen? Blood would coagulate, it would settle down, and you would get 2 to 3, 4 layers. Okay, the lower part was the thick deposition. All the cells, dead cells, would deposit and form a black layer. Just above it would be a red layer. That was basically the hemoglobin present in the blood. Just above the hemoglobin was your yellow bile, the bile juices present in the blood, or the bile that was yellow in color. Above it was a transparent layer which was the plasma of the blood. Now all these things, what they were, we know it today, but in those days they would talk only based on the thickness or the amount of black color, red color, yellow color, and the transparent color. And if a person's blood was taken out and there was a very huge layer of this black colored blood, this layer, then the person's personality would also be deciphered from those 4 layers. That he or she is a very shrewd person, black-hearted, this, that. So based on just how the blood settles, they would infer how the person is. Based on this, the person, whether the person is sick or the person is healthy, that was also decided. If the yellow colored layer was very high, then it was said the person is suffering from some disease. If the red was a broader band, then they would say that he was head-hearted. So with various layers, thickness of layers, they would decipher that these people's profiles would vary. So depending upon which layer was more, the diseases were assigned. If there was a lot of blood that was red band, the red part was more, then the person was having some heart disease, angina. If the black part was more, then constipation, shaking, stomach. So these were the diseases based upon the thickness of the layer. This shows what Hippocrates would decipher from the 4 different bands, the 4 temperaments a person can have. And they had these, he had tabulated, and according to this, he used to treat his people. We do not follow Hippocrates anymore. It was an interesting information, that's why we shared here. Now, what we have to study is what makes us ill. It is basically the viruses, bacteria, fungus, or some lower organisms like the protozoans or the helminths. These are the organisms that make us ill. There are certain illness whose causes we don't know, but there is some imbalance in the system which causes illness in the body. So health can be defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social being. When people are healthy, they are more efficient at work. Balanced diet, personal hygiene, regular exercise are very important to maintain good health. Awareness about the disease and their effect on different bodily function, vaccination against infection, proper disposal of waste, control of vectors, maintenance of hygienic food and water resources are necessary for achieving very good health. Now, what affects the health of a person? A person can either be affected by genetic disorders, which are inherited from parents to offspring, or because of certain infection. At times, a person becomes unhealthy because of the lifestyle, right from the food, water, the rest and exercise habits. All of them together affect the health of a person. Don't you think that staying at home, at times you feel that you have become unhealthy, you're not moving, you're not making an effort to do some exercise? That makes your body unhealthy. So you should regularly exercise, drink lots of water and eat healthy food. Health is also affected if the functioning of one or more organ is affected in the body, and diseases which easily transmit from one person to another, such as the infectious diseases, and there are certain non-infectious disease like the cancer, which is a major cause of death, but it is a non-infectious disease. So pathogens cause disease in an organism. Diseases can be of 2 types, congenital or acquired. Congenital diseases are diseases acquired during birth along with the DNA of the organism from the parents, whereas acquired diseases are acquired during the due course of your lifespan. Now, acquired diseases can be of 2 types, communicable and non-communicable. Communicable diseases, we also call them as infectious, and non-communicable disease are the non-infectious disease. Communicable disease spread quickly by touch, through the air, if you are in contact with the person, then so such diseases are infectious or communicable disease. Our novel COVID-19 is a communicable disease. Among these communicable disease, we have 2 types of diseases, contagious and non-contagious. Contagious are those which spread by touch through the air, when you are in contact with a person, whatever the person is touching, or maybe is sneezing in the air, through that you come in contact with that disease. Non-contagious, it spreads through vectors. Suppose a person is suffering from malaria, he or she is bit by a mosquito. The mosquito becomes the vector and carries and transfer the infection to another person who is next to that person. Now, if we talk of the non-communicable diseases, these are like the degenerative organ disease, like the heart disease, nephritis, Then we have deficiency disease, where certain vitamins and minerals are less in the body, like scurvy, rickets. Then allergies. Now everybody don't have allergy for same thing. The allergies vary from person to person. Then cancer is not a communicable disease. There are many causes of cancer, and it can be mutation, it can be a genetic defect, or it can be through genetics you can have cancer. So it is not a communicable disease. You don't spread cancer just by touching or through some vector. It just spreads because of other reasons. Now, what are pathogens? Infectious disease causing agents are called pathogens. Now, these are of various types: bacteria, virus, protozoan, helminths, fungi, and most of the pathogens are parasites. They can cause harm to the organism by either living in or on them. So, either endoparasites or ectoparasites. Endo means they are living inside the host. Ecto means they are living on the host. Like lice. Lice is a parasite which lives on the host. Ticks on the dogs, they are also ectoparasites. Endoparasites would include your organisms which live inside the host and they multiply.